Hey, Jason here, founder of We Outreach, and welcome to the Link Lessons series where we look at real websites that are doing well in Google to try and see what we can learn from their approach to SEO and link building. One of the great things about SEO is that Google tells you exactly how to do it by showing you how their algorithm is optimized through what they choose to rank in the search results pages. And so for anyone trying to learn SEO and how does this algorithm work, one of the best things you can do is just look at what ranks already and work backwards from there to figure out what you need to do, because whatever those websites are doing, the algorithm likes it. And so if you do similar things in terms of your content and the links that you build, you should get similar results. So with that said, let's jump into the example we have for today, which is 5-star valeting solutions.co.uk. And it's a car valet company, as the name suggests. And just on the right here, looking at some of the keywords that they rank for, car valet in the UK, they rank 3rd for that. They have other nice keywords, car valet Bristol, ranked 4th for that. Car valet Cardiff, ranked 3rd for that. They're doing really, really well, ranking top 3 for all of these keywords that are have strong commercial intent and are directly related to their business. So they're doing really, really well in Google search. So the first thing they're going to be doing really well to rank for these types of keywords is their on-page optimization and their content. They have content that is optimized for all these keywords. They know what keywords they're going for, and they have their pages set up so that when Google looks at those pages, they clearly understand what it's about and what the content of that page is offering, and that it matches up with the intent of the person who is searching for that keyword. So someone searching for car valet in Swindon, they want a service that is going to valet their car in Swindon. This company has their website set up to have their keyword in the URL, in the headings, in all the basic like on-page SEO 101 places that you would expect. And the overall page is set up to serve this intent of someone who is looking for a car valet service in Swindon. And that's what they've done for all of their pages. And this, plus the overall site architecture, the way the pages are internal linked, is the foundation of any good SEO strategy. It's kind of outside the scope of what we're talking about in this video, where we're mostly going to focus on the links, but I wanted to address it first because it's something that every website that hopes to be successful with SEO needs to have in place as the foundation. The content, quality content, being well optimized for the intent of the searches, and then the overall site architecture and internal links. To get a bit of a sense of this industry and the level of competition, let's just take a look at one of the basic keywords here, just car valet. And take a look at some of the other competitors that are ranking for this keyword as well. So we have the website that we're looking at here in position 3. And then around that, looking at the DORs of the other websites, everything is pretty low. It's a pretty low competition industry and keyword overall, it seems like, just at a glance. What's ranking above it? DOR 20, the website we're looking at, DOR 27. Below that, DOR 8, DOR 3. There's even some DOR 0 and DOR 1 websites further down the page. The most competitive industry or keyword in the world, but you can see they're still doing pretty well. If I look at the traffic column here, I see they're getting what Ahrefs estimates to be 1,400 traffic per month, but that's way off, just a best guess by Ahrefs really. But the relative traffic of this other website that's ranking above them, freshcarvaleting.com, is almost 7,000, so relatively much higher. So the website we're looking at here, it's not top of the market by any means, but they're still doing pretty well. Another thing to look at, just in terms of getting a high-level overview of this website and how it's doing in Google, is their organic traffic growth. And you can see back in 2021, they basically had no organic traffic, and now they've had a lot of growth over the last few years, at least according to these Ahrefs estimates, and now they're doing pretty well. They've increased their traffic quite a bit, and we already looked at some of the keywords they're ranking for, really good commercial intent keywords that are a perfect fit with their services. And so they've grown a lot through SEO over the last few years, and that's what makes them interesting and why I wanted to look into what they're doing. Now, none of this so far is rocket science in terms of doing your keyword research, understanding what content you need to make, putting your website together, having the content nicely interlinked together, and all of that good foundational stuff there. Most businesses can find that pretty easy to understand and can get it all set up reasonably well because it's all within your control. You fully control your website, you fully control how the content looks there, how it's all internally linked together and everything like that. And it's easy, relatively easy, to put these foundations in place and have a good strategy that you can execute on that side of things. Where many people run into problems is with the link building. And obviously, all of this on-site stuff is just one piece of the puzzle. The other piece is links. So getting links from external websites to yours. And a lot of people run into more challenges with this. A lot of businesses run into more challenges with this. The reasons are that it's pretty well known that Google really doesn't like the link building industry, and it has a very checkered history of rolling out these updates that punish websites for low quality link building, and no business wants to be on the bad end of one of those where you wake up one day and you lose traffic because you've engaged in low quality link building practices over the last while. At the same time, Google never really tells you exactly what works and what doesn't work in terms of link building. All they say is it's bad, don't do it. But on the other hand, it's very clear from people who do real world SEO that links are a critical part of SEO success. So you know you need the links, but you know Google doesn't want you to have the links, and you need to somehow find out what's the right balance for you to take to get the strategy right. So you get the benefits from the links without risking getting punished by Google for building the links. And then when it comes to the question of how do I actually build these links, you have all of these agencies out there that will tell you, yes, we build the highest quality links. But then you actually go and work with them, you pay them the money, and then they deliver these like low quality links that you can tell if you've worked with any number of agencies that many agencies just use the same low quality websites as everyone else, and they are actually too much on the risky side of this balance that you're trying to strike between managing your risk so you don't get punished by Google and actually building links that are going to deliver the benefit to you for your SEO strategy. So it's all very confusing. Everyone has different opinions, and at the end of the day, it's just really hard to figure out what sort of links you should be building and how do you build them. So again, the best way that we can take lessons about this is looking at the websites that already rank in Google right now and look at the links that they have. And then we can use that to make a plan for the set of standards that we want to have for the links that we build for our own websites. Because once again, if it works for other websites that are ranking in Google right now, you can tell that's what the algorithm wants. And so it can work for us too. As we've said already, this is not a super high competition market. We already looked at the relatively low DRs of the websites that are ranking for this car valet keyword that we looked at. And probably it's not going to take too many links to be competitive in this industry for this set of keywords, because what is enough links is relative to the other competitors in that industry. Because if you want to have around the same or ideally a little bit more links than your competitors have. And of course, the quality of those links matters as well. So if all of your closest competitors in a space have like 50 decent links to their website, then you want 50 to 100 decent links to your website. So you can at least be on the same level, if not higher than them. Many people try to make SEO and link building super complicated, but really it's as simple as that. And it's much more useful if you keep it simple in that way and just set yourself a goal of, okay, I need to build 60, 70 decent links, and you set a standard for what is a decent link, and then you can focus on just executing on that plan and actually getting those links. There's no point in getting super specific with, I want links from like these specific websites or that meet these very, very specific criteria or anything like that. Just have a simple set of standards, have a goal for how many links you want to build, and then at the end of the day, SEO is an operations game. The people who win in SEO are the ones who have these simple strategies and who can execute on them effectively and consistently over the course of weeks and months and years to ultimately build this successful SEO strategy through execution. An SEO strategy takes half a day to put together, maybe even less if you know what you're doing, but the execution of that strategy takes the weeks, months, years. And so that's where you should focus most of your resources and efforts. So let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the links to 5-star valeting solutions and see what they're doing and what's working for them. We'll jump over to the backlinks report in Ahrefs, and I've applied some filters here to only show do follow links and a few others to only show links that are from websites that are above DR10 and also get more than 500 traffic from Google, and also a few other basic filters to cut down the list. Because the thing is, Ahrefs and other tools that track links, they track not only good links to a website, but all sorts of low quality spammy links as well go into their database. And the problem is that all of these low quality spammier links, Google will also see those, the same as Ahrefs and all these tools, but Google probably ignores the value from those links because it's really easy to identify them as low quality or spammy links. And that's why I've applied the filters here, because it's more useful to think that this website has 40 good links than it is to think that it has like several hundred or thousand or tens of thousands of like low quality spammy links. That's not very useful, because at the end of the day, we're trying to please Google and the Google algorithm. So it makes more sense just to, again, keep it simple, apply some simple filters and get a more useful number at the end of the day here, 40 links. This isn't going to be perfect. I'm sure there's some links in here that are actually low quality and spammy. And also, I'm sure by applying these filters, we've also lost a few links that are actually high quality. But it doesn't matter. The point is, it's more useful than the raw list of links that you get from Ahrefs. So looking at this list, they've got 40 good links to their website. And just from a high level view of the keyword that we already looked at, seeing all of these low DR websites as competitors, this sounds like just what you would need to be competitive in this industry. None of your competitors have very many links at all. So if you build 40 or 50 good solid links in combination with your on-site SEO and your good content and internal links and website structure and all of that stuff that we talked about, that's probably just the recipe that you need to be competitive. And indeed, we can see it seems to be working for 5-star car valeting solutions. So what are these links then, and how are they being built? And I can tell you, just because I'm someone who owns a link building agency and we do a lot of outreach and a lot of link building, we have a lot of data about which websites out there are like selling links and things like this. And I can tell you just from glancing through this list that I recognize many of the websites on this list as like classic websites that sell links, where you can email them, they'll reply reliably and say, hey, sure, if you give me like X amount of dollars, I can add your link. And it's very easy and quick to get your link and choose what your anchor text is going to be and make a nice link placement. Obviously, you've got to be really careful with this, because they're paying for links is fine, and it's a good way to get the link built. But if you do this on websites that are selling too many links and that just have no editorial standards at all, then you can end up having your website associated with a bunch of the other low quality websites that they're also linking to. We would call something like this a link farm. And so if you're going to buy links, you need to be careful that you only do it on a website that actually maintains decent quality standards. So looking through this list, none of these links are super special. You can go and email most of these websites and 80 or 90% of them will let you buy a link for not that much money, honestly. And so actually, to answer the question, how are they building these links? It's not that complicated. They're using some sort of agency, or they're doing some sort of very basic email outreach themselves to get some link building opportunities. And then they're just choosing which ones they want to buy and giving some sort of guidance on the anchor text. A lot of people get into SEO and link building and they think that, oh, to do well, I need like DR80, DR90 links from like super legit, super high-end websites out there. That's what I need to be successful. And yeah, sure, that's true in certain really competitive industries. But we already looked at a quick overview of the level of competition in this industry, and it's not that high. And these lower level, medium level links, they can work when relative to your competition, they are actually strong links. And so all of these options that you have for link building, you need to think about them in the context of your industry and what you're actually trying to achieve. Because if in this industry you went and bought like Dior 70, Dior 80 links with some high-end agency where you're paying $1,000 a link or something like that, it will be total overkill for this industry. And so that's the way that I would suggest you think about it. And that's easy to say for this website because the level of competition is so low. But as you'll see, we'll look at other more medium tier and high tier competition industries, and we can extend this logic to how it should apply to in those cases. But it's kind of the same thing. You need to have a set of quality standards that you're willing to meet for your links. And then sourcing the link opportunities is not that difficult. You do email outreach campaigns, you talk to agencies, whatever. And then the real trick with link building these days is to pass all of those opportunities through the filter that is your quality standards. So you need a really well-defined and solid quality framework. And that's what's going to let you build like links that strike the right balance, like we talked about earlier, between getting the benefit of those links for your SEO strategy, while also mitigating the risk of those links crossing some sort of line with Google and being excessively risky to where maybe you catch a Google penalty at some point. At We Outreach, our quality framework is designed to do exactly that, strike this right balance between the risk and the reward of link building. And wherever you're watching this video, I'll put a link down below in the description or the comments of where you can go and read about our quality framework and how you can put it to work for yourself as well. So again, just looking at the links that they've built, there's really nothing special here. I've spent another minute scrolling up and down through these links, checking out some of the websites, and overall it's just solid basic link building. The websites are not anything special, but if you just like look at the URLs and the titles of the websites, they're all pretty relevant for the topic of the website that we're looking at, about car valeting and different types of specific car valeting services. All of the anchor texts look pretty good, and they've done what they needed to do here, just like very basic, solid link building, and nothing that you couldn't easily do for yourself as a business if you were in an industry with a similar level of competition. So let's wrap this up with what is the main lesson we can take from this website. And I think the main lesson is that in the right circumstances, you don't need to be too over the top with your quality standards for the links that you build. It's really easy to go down the path of only wanting to get perfect links to your website because you're scared that you might piss off Google and get a penalty if you go too on the aggressive side, and that's a valid concern. But at the same time, you need to ground this in what does the algorithm want to see at the end of the day. And here we have a clear example of a low competition industry where a website is building these like very basic, like honestly somewhat link farmy links, but just doing it in a way where it's on relevant pages with decent link placements and anchor texts, and it's working. The Google algorithm is responding and ranking them well, and probably this business is doing very well with SEO traffic. So that's the big lesson here, is to not be too restrictive with your quality standards and keep it focused on what does the algorithm want to see. Because just like you can make the mistake of being too aggressive with your link building, lowering your quality standards and building high risk links that eventually get you punished and end up with you losing rankings and traffic, there's another big risk here that is less well observed, which is if you're not aggressive enough with your link building, then you don't build enough links and you never get that traffic and those rankings in the first place, because your competitors are out there, they're just being a little bit more aggressive with you, getting those links built, and the Google algorithm responds and they beat you. So keep it focused on what the algorithm wants. Be mindful of the level of competition in your industry, and then set a reasonable quality standard for your links based on the realities of what you can see from Google and from the industry. And that should set you up for success with link building. That's it for today. I hope you found this valuable. As always, if you ever need help with link building, feel free to reach out to us at We Outreach and we'd be glad to have a chat. Have a good one.